Hey guys, welcome to TND Video Games. How's it going? Dave here. Yo, it is Super Bowl Sunday. Oh my god! I don't care at all. I don't care at all. I got my hockey jersey on today because I like me some hockey. So look, I don't know what today's going to be like. Super Bowl Sunday, even though it's like way later in the day, people are gearing up for the day. I get that. So today might be busy, might not be busy. We'll see. I'll let you know how it goes. So we are before opening right now, and I thought I'd give you guys a little state of the store kind of tour video. I haven't been here in a few weeks, and unfortunately, while Joe was here last week, he was pretty sick, so he wasn't able to film. So this is the state of the store. Basically, still got a lot of the Amiibos and collector's editions. The truth is, we're going to probably have those for a while to come. So that's all kind of sitting up there. We have more Amiibos here and still against the wall over there. I might try to do a little bit of cleaning today. I always like to move things around the store. You know, it's it's a good way to keep it fresh and keep everything in check. Speaking of keeping things fresh, the PS1 is now over here, and I moved it here a few weeks ago. It used to be way over there, but what's actually happened is that by moving it over here, we've sold more. And that typically happens. I don't know, it must be an old retail trick where you sort of move things around and then people see it and all of a sudden they want to buy it again. So we've been selling some PS1, which is awesome. Also, every time I say PS1, I feel kind of weird saying it because in theory it's PlayStation, right? Like it's PlayStation games, but got to differentiate from the other consoles. So last week was also very busy, and you can kind of see that all the shelves have gaps and holes, and people were flipping over the Genesis games over here. So I'm gonna probably go through this morning and just kind of tidy up the shelves, make it look nice and minty fresh for everybody. So I'm gonna get going with all of that, and I will let you know what happens next. Nintendo 64. Okay, guys, so we got our first trade of the day here. Just a couple of items, and this was actually, believe it or not, 3 different trades. So obviously, best thing we got in here this morning, Star Fox 64 CIB. It's got the Rumble Pack. It's in pretty decent shape. Manual's a little bent, but this is not a box that you see too often. It's a lot larger than the other boxes. So very happy to get that in. Marco traded that in with us. He was happy to trade it in, and he was very happy with the store credit we gave him. We got Meteos here for the DS, Ghost of Tsushima, FIFA 15, which is a pretty uncommon Wii game, Galaxy 2, Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams, which is a really good game for the Wii U if you haven't played it. Really fun platformer. And then Smash Bros for the Wii U, not as popular. Finally, got a couple of DS games here. So Marvel Nemesis and Asphalt Urban GT. So going to be pricing these and putting them on the shelves right now. So one problem that we always have at the store is where to put the miscellaneous stuff. And one of the problems we're having lately is where do we put all of our guides? We've got a full bin down there and then all of these up here. So what I think I might do is actually sort of stack them here so you can see the spines, and then maybe I'll move those manuals back over there, even though I just put them here recently. So I'm going to try to figure that out. Also, check it out. Game Boy box. Just the box. Pretty cool. Alright guys, so we got our latest trade in here. A lot of good retro items. Got some Super Nintendo, Genesis, and Game Boy Advance games. Start with the Super Nintendo here. We got Mortal Kombat, Alien 3, Mega Man X. Always good to get that one. Mario 97, NHL 97 I should say. Don't always actually have that one in stock. Jedi and Star Fox. Got Shining Force 2 and Phantasy Star 3, 2 really good games for the Genesis. Sonic the Hedgehog, which apparently is a good game, people have told me. Disney Aladdin, Vector Man, Sports Talk Football on Super Bowl Sunday, and then, of course, Team USA Basketball, heavy hitter. Got Pokemon games here. I've tested them all the batteries work, so that's awesome. Dr. Mario, Star Wars, and then Golden Sun. Every time we get this copy in, it sells pretty much right away. And same with Breath of Fire, so fairly certain those won't be lasting too long on the shelves. So I'm going to price all this and put it up in the shelves shortly. Alright guys, so just want to give you a little update for today. It's around 1 o'clock right now. It's been very steady all day long. Not crazy sales, but selling a lot of PS3, a lot of PS2, a lot of NES. We had Nicolas who came in, loves his NES, bought a bunch of NES games. So definitely a good day, especially for Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know if it's going to be much busier than this. I'm always curious. These days are always sort of a crapshoot. To our American viewers out there, like Super Bowl is a big deal up here as well. Yeah, so we've had steady sales. It's been busy. It's been good. Not a lot of trades, but as I always say, that's totally fine. You got to take them when they come, and when they don't, that's fine. We'll get more another time. Bye. So as you guys totally know, I've been promoting our Coleco and Atari section, and a lot of gaps in there. So what I did today was bring in a bunch of Atari games from the unit, and I'm going to be filling these back up. People are buying the Atari and Coleco, so I want to keep this section nice and jam-packed. All right, guys, so this is how it is, right? The last time I filmed, I was like, oh, it's slow. It's going to be slow the rest of the day. And then, boom, everyone showed up. Just sold the CIB NES that Joe put into the store last week. So we're having crazy fast turnover for some of our more expensive items. And yeah, it's been steady. We're doing well. I'm pretty happy with today's sales. I think it's because I wore my Sens jersey today. Yeah. All right, so we have our latest trade in here. Not a ton of items here, but really good items to get in. So I'm going to zoom right in on the 3DS XL with the flower sticker. So good to get one of these in stock. We actually don't have one right now, and it's in very nice shape. Then we got ourselves here some Tomodachi Life. This is a pretty expensive game for the 3DS. Also Pokemon Ultra Moon. New Super Luigi Brothers U with the brothers crossed out. Just Dance 2019, and a loose copy of Pokemon X. So pretty good trade. Pretty happy to get all this in. I'll be posting it to Facebook and pricing it shortly. All right, guys, so obviously we get a lot of responses on our YouTube videos and shorts and all over Facebook, and the responses are always funny, hilarious, sometimes just a little ridiculous. So one of my new favorites, somebody wrote, "That's not where a lapel mic goes." I don't know, man. What can I say? It goes here. No. So I put it up here because I've put it here, and I find because of my manly chest, it gets muffled. And I mean, that's why I'm thinking it gets muffled, right? It's got to be my manly chest. So I put it up here. I think it's fine. It's much better than getting it all bleh, muffled. So, my new favorite comment. Thank you so much for leaving that comment. Truly appreciate it. All right, guys. Question of the day. Number one, do you watch any sports, and what's your favorite sports team? Number two, related to that question, what's your favorite sports video game? So, I'm a huge Ottawa Senators fan, so I got my jersey on, got my Kachuk, and my favorite sports video game is NHL 94. What are your favorite sports/sport and your favorite sports video game? Leave the comments down below. So today I wanted to talk about a poll question that I posted on our community tab, basically asking if you've played every game in your video game collection. And this sort of came about because Joe and I did a podcast recently where we talked about what games we want to play in the upcoming year. And we both chose 10 games. And for me, I kind of like combed my shelves and I was trying to find games that I hadn't played. And I was surprised because there were still like a fair amount of games I still hadn't played yet, or games that I'd like, just tried for a few minutes. So I wanted to ask people, like, how many games have you actually played in your collection? Now, for me, I'd say I've played like roughly 70 to 80% of the games in my collection, but that's because I've culled my collection down to, I want to say it's like around 500 games or so. I used to have around 2,000 games in my collection, like well over 600 NES games many, many years ago. And I just wasn't playing them. And, so I got rid of them and I was okay with that. And I actually just sort of kept games in my collection that either I'm going to play, or my kids are going to play, or like I hold some nostalgia for, right? So, and every collector's different, right? And I was curious, what do people do, right? So it kind of worked out to basically most people said that they've played most of the games in their collection, or they've played less than half, which I don't know, that kind of makes sense to me, right? Because if you're going for a full set, let's say, you probably aren't going to play all of them, or it might take you a very long time to finally get to that area that you want to get to. If you're like a gamer that's more looking just to play and not necessarily collect everything, you're probably going to buy your game and play them as you go, right? So it really depends on the kind of gamer collector that you are. We have a few people that responded, and these are always my favorite parts here to read these out. So the Game Boy Nerd 23 says, I probably have played most of them, but at this point, I have so many, I can't even guarantee it. CWN 25 says, if I get a couple of games At one time, I will always open them up and test them out, especially if they are used, just to be sure they're working. And I think a lot of people do that for sure. Do you play through it right away? Maybe, maybe not. And then someone says, like, did you mean like, did you beat it or just tried it out? And I wasn't mentioning beating it because, like, that is a totally different ball game. Um, Joe and I had tried to keep like a spreadsheet a while back of games that we've beaten, but the truth is, it's just like it's hard to do that. It's hard to be to always beat a game. Although I recently beat God over Roboto for the Switch, which was such a fun game, a short little Metroidvania, really cute game. Yeah, and he kind of says he's like, I answered his question, which games? I basically said, which games have you tried playing in your collection? He said, in that case, yes, I've played every game in my collection. I try to buy stuff I know I will play sometime. Thanks for asking. So that was our question on our community tab this week. Thank you for participating, and we'll catch you later. Guys, we are done here for the day. Thank you so much for watching. You know what? It ended up being a pretty busy day and pretty happy. A lot of people came in. A lot of people loved the jersey. So yeah, go Sens, go! They're terrible this year, but they won yesterday, which is why I wore it because I'm like, you got to celebrate those little victories. Anyway, appreciate you watching. We'll talk to you next time. Cheers.